Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Ken, and in this video I want to share with you guys why I think house hacking is the best and easiest way to get started in income producing real estate investing. A little bit about me: I've been invested in income producing real estate now for the past 3 years, and I can tell you that if you're looking to build wealth or increase your net worth, or maybe just looking for a stronger source of passive income, income producing real estate is the way to go. See, on the average, the stock market can give you anywhere from 8 to 10% return on your investment. But income producing real estate, when purchased correctly, can give you upwards of 15% return on your investment. I have a couple properties now that I've owned for the past 2 years now, and I've been consistently receiving over 20% return on my investment. Now, there is a barrier that prevents most people from getting started in real estate investing, and that has to do with the huge amount of capital required for your down payment. You see, most lenders require a minimum of 20% down payment on the purchase price of a property. And when you think about the average cost of home now in America, which is about $300,000, 20% of that is $60,000. That's a lot of money. Now, there are ways you can get by with a lower down payment. Okay, there are several ways you can get by, but me personally, I think if you're a beginner real estate investor, if you have no prior knowledge on real estate investing, I think the safest way you can get started is through house hacking, and there are several reasons for that. But before I start, what is house hacking? House hacking is simply when a property owner decides to rent out a unit or bedroom, in such property to tenants who in turn pay rent that will be used to cover some or all of the expenses. Okay, so take for example, if I have a four-bedroom home and my mortgage payment is about $1,200, I can decide to stay in one bedroom and rent out the other three to tenants. Okay, I can charge maybe $500 per room, so I can obtain $1,500 from those three rooms. I can pay the $1,200 mortgage payment and still have $300 left. So that's basically how house hacking works. Just renting out space in your house to other people. So now, why do I recommend house hacking? There are several reasons. The first one is that typically, if you purchase a home that you're going to live in and house hack, okay, you can qualify for a lower down payment. Okay, you can qualify for as low as 3.5% if you use a FHA loan, and as low as 5% down payment if you use a conventional loan. And that's how I got started. When I purchased my first property, I only had to come up with 5% down payment. Okay, and that enabled me get started much sooner than if I was to come up with 20%. The first property I purchased was about $170,000, so I only had to put down about $12,000. If I was purchasing that property as a rental property, I would have to come up with like around maybe $35,000 or something like that. So the ability to come up with a lower down payment is very advantageous. Now, the second reason why I think house hacking is a good way to go is that for owner occupied residential properties, okay, banks typically charge lower interest rates compared to rental properties. Okay, and the reason for this is that rental properties are considered higher risk. Okay, if the economy was to take a downfall now, okay, there is a higher chance that someone who owns a property, a rental property, will default on the mortgage payment versus someone who owns his or her own personal property. And if you think about it, if I have my own home, even if I lose my job, okay, I'm willing to do what it takes to save my home, okay, because that's where I live, that's where my family lives, right? So if it means finding another job, working extra hours, borrowing money from someone, I'm willing to do what it takes. A rental property owner, on the other hand, you know, will be less inclined to keep making payments on a property that is depreciating in value. Okay, so lenders take that into consideration when charging interest rates, and typically, for an owner-occupied property, you can get anywhere from 0.5 to 1% lower interest rate compared to if you were to purchase a rental property. The third reason why house hacking can be beneficial is that it also provides convenience. Okay, it provides hands-on experience also. Okay, so think about this: your first rental property, or the first property you purchase for investment, will typically be one that you would have to manage yourself, right? Because you might not have enough cash flow to hire a property manager. And I think that's really valuable also, because you need that hands-on experience, number one. Number two, there are several things you need to understand about real estate. You need to understand, the ins and outs of landlord-tenant relationships. You need to understand, how to handle maintenance issues, and also it's much easier for you when you live in the property to handle some of these things. Take for example, like if a maintenance issue was to come up, right? It would be much easier for me if I'm in the property. I can easily attend to it than having to drive 5, 10, 20 miles to rent a property every time. Time is of essence, and you really want to spend your time on your main job, your primary job that provides the earned income for you to purchase more rental properties. Okay, you don't want to spend so much time managing or visiting rental properties every time a maintenance issue occurs. Okay, I'm not saying that you have to neglect your managerial responsibilities, but I think it's much wiser and better if you're closer to the property, or if you're in the property that you're renting out. To be much easier for you to attend to issues that might arise. So just that convenience, also hands-on experience, you being around your property, you knowing what's going on and what issues needs to be resolved, things like that, I think become valuable in the long run. The fourth reason why I recommend house hacking is because of lower vacancies. Okay, if you think of a single family home, if I was to rent a single family home to a family, okay, and that family decides to leave, my vacancy becomes 100%, right? I have no income, but I still have to make the mortgage payments. I still have to make the maintenance dues, HOA dues, utility dues, and that can be very troublesome, especially if I don't have enough cash flow reserve in my account. Now, on the other hand, if I have a 4-bedroom home, and say I live in 1 bedroom and rent out the other 3, if one tenant was to leave, my vacancy is just 25%. Okay, I still have 2 other tenants that are paying rent that will be used to cover some of the expenses. So the whole burden wouldn't just be on me to use my personal income to cover all the required bills. Okay, so you definitely get a lower vacancy advantage when you house hack. Another thing you can think about also is that typically single family homes, a home that you rent to one single family, um, typically those come with higher rents, right? So you typically rent those homes at a much higher cost than what you would rent a bedroom. Okay, so I might decide to rent a bedroom in my home for say $500, but if I was to rent the entire home, I might rent it for like say $2,000, and it's much easier to find someone who's willing to pay $500 versus finding someone who's going to pay $2,000, right? And why am I saying this? I've had times when I've had tenants leave a bedroom, and it only took me like a week to find someone else to move in. Okay, I've seen cases whereby people have homes, and they decide to rent the home. Let's say someone leaves, and it takes almost 2 months to find a new tenant, just because $2,000 is a lot of money to come up with. Okay, so just that ability to be able to fill up your rooms much faster, okay, provides less vacancies in the long run. The final reason why I recommend house hacking also, it provides an opportunity for lower expenses. For most people, living expenses are the second largest expenses, okay, that you would have. After the first one being, taxes, obviously. And if you think about it, if I was to purchase a rental property, if I had the money to purchase a rental property, I still have to be paying my mortgage or my rent for the property in which I live in, right? Versus if I was house hacking, I could use the rents that are being paid to me to cover my mortgage. Okay, so I'll be basically be living rent free, and I think this is very valuable because the ability to save your second largest expense will enable you put more into a fund that can purchase more real estate much faster. And that basically is what I did. It really helped me a lot. My aim was to purchase one property every year, and I can tell you, I would not have been able to do that if I wasn't able to save up all my living expenses every month. Okay, so here, those are the five main reasons why I think house hacking is quite beneficial. A lower down payment, lower interest rates, ability to get hands-on experience, and also the convenience of being around the property and being able to take care of maintenance issues that would occur. Also, lower vacancies and finally lower expenses. Now, there are two important things you need to know about house hacking. Okay, before you house hack, you need to confirm from your lender if there are any stipulations on how long you need to be in the property before you leave. Okay, if your aim is to build a real estate portfolio, most likely you want to house hack for a while, move out, turn it to a full rental, purchase another property. Okay, that's what I did, and most lenders will allow you to move out from the property after you've lived there for 1 year. Okay, my lender required me to only stay 1 year in the property. Okay, but you need to find out, not all lenders do 1 year. Okay, some lenders might require 2 or 3 years. If you leave before the stipulated time, it's going to be considered mortgage fraud and you could get into serious trouble. Okay, so find out from your lender first before you collect a loan from them. The second thing you need to know is that if your aim is to build up a real estate portfolio, okay, through house hacking, you need to treat each property as a true investment. Okay, what do I mean by this? Okay, you have to decide on the property you're going to house hack. You have to determine what the return on investment would be once you eventually leave that property. Okay, you can't purchase a property and then decide to house hack. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you have to determine what the numbers are, determine if it's a very good deal, determine what your cash flow would be, what your return would be. Okay, and there are certain things you need to know. There are certain metrics I personally use when analyzing each deal. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a different video, but I just want to let you guys know that that's very important. You need to learn how to run the numbers very well and determine if this is the right property for you to purchase. Okay, so yeah, so those are, I think, the only two things I think are very important, and I think you need to know about house hacking. Now, in some cases, there are people who might not want to live with strangers or have other people live in their house. I understand. Not everyone wants to have their space shared with other people. Okay, certain people might have privacy reasons. Certain people might have maybe families and they can't do that. There are other ways you can house hack. Okay, you can also purchase a multi-family unit. You can purchase 1 to 4 multi-family units. Okay, and still qualify for low down payments and low interest rates. Okay, typically when you get above 4 units or 5+ units, it will be considered a commercial property, so you have to obtain a commercial loan, which will require 20% minimum down payment and higher interest rate. But if you stay below 5 units, you can still qualify for 3.5% down payments on an FHA loan and also lower interest rates. Not all lenders do that. Okay, so you have to again confirm from your lender and see if they're willing to work with you. Okay, if they say no, you can find another lender. There's lenders out there who are willing to work with you. But just throwing out other possibilities if you're the kind of person who wouldn't want to share your space with other people. I personally don't have a problem with it. I lived with roommates back in college, and I'm okay doing it. Especially since I don't have a family here with me. So yeah, so guys, those are, I think, the key things you need to know about house hacking. In my next video, like I mentioned, I'm going to show you a detailed way to analyze a property before you decide to purchase it. So there it is, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on anything I talked about, please leave a comment below and I would attend to them as soon as possible. Also, if you liked or learned something from this video, please hit the like button. It would truly mean a lot to me and would help my channel. I will also be posting more videos like I talked about. My aim is to educate anyone who's trying to get started in real estate investing. Okay, I've had a lot of people talk to me about how did you get started? How was it possible for you to obtain 3 houses in 3 years? I want to share all of this. It's not been easy for me, but I always think that if you put in the right mindset and you're very focused, you can achieve anything. Okay, and I'm going to be sharing my journey and all the things I did along the way in this channel. Okay, so if you'd like to be notified when next I post a video, please hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when next I post a video. Okay. All right, guys. Before I leave, I want to leave you guys a quote from Winston Churchill just to encourage you. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that matters. So stay motivated and see you next time. Thank you.